Hi, it's Doug Cunnington here. This is a Niche Site Project Live, the Doug Show, I guess. I'm not 100% sure what we're calling it. Welcome. I've been on a little hiatus. I'm going to talk about that a little bit here. And let me know if you could hear me in the chat. Hopefully I'll hear myself. I'm going to be talking a little bit quieter today. I am getting over a cold, a bit of a cold, which is, it's quite sad. Actually, let's see if I could hear this. Oh yeah, I can hear it. Yeah, getting over a cold. I'm feeling much better now, but I do have a bit of a cough. I'm eating a cough drop right now that it tastes a little bit like a urinal cake, and cherries got together and had a baby, and they called it a cough drop. But it is helping my throat a little bit, and I'm happy to be back doing some live streams. So today, I'm just going to tell some stories. I will answer questions if you have some. And we have, Alex is on here. You can hear me. Fantastic. So basically, I took a lot of September off and in part of the end of August, and it was fantastic. And for the people that are concerned, I'll probably mention this a couple times. Right now, as far as I know, I don't have COVID. I took a test when I started to get sick. It came back negative. There is something going around, and perhaps I have that. But I'll talk more about it later. But technically, right now, COVID negative. I'm pretending like I have it just to be safe, so I'm not going out doing anything fun. I occasionally walk the dog, but I'm not around any other people. Yeah. So anyway, I took a lot of September off. It was fantastic. I visited Yellowstone National Park in Bozeman, got to visit some friends out there, visited family. Oh, and I see Karen is on, Robin, David as well. The crew is back. And I decided, hey, I'm not going to worry about the live streams while I'm out of the office. And I just had a nice time. So it was really cool just unplugging, and literally in Yellowstone, we didn't have a cell phone signal. We were out by the lake area. So there's not any cell towers. I think if you went to one specific area, you can get some really terrible Wi-Fi. I never hooked up. And it was like 3-4 days of just no internet, no data. I should have brought my walkie-talkies, my two-way radios, so we could communicate. Me and my family couldn't even text back and forth. So we were just, it was like the old days before we had cell phones, basically. It was very cool. And got to hang out in Bozeman, which was fun, drink a lot of beer, hung out with a buddy, Ryan, who is the barrel wrangler at Bozeman Brewing Company. So if people know the area or that the brewery, he's the guy that makes the sour beers and other clean beers as well, but he makes the sour beers, wrangles the barrels. So we hung out with him, and I drank a lot of beer late nights. I didn't get sick then. It was a little smoky up there, but eventually by the time we left, it actually cleared up a little bit. And took a couple weeks off here in the Longmont area, and I worked a little bit. I took the month off. I worked a couple hours a week just to make sure my emails didn't stack up too much. I recorded the podcast here and there. One of the other cool things that I did, and which I would say 90 to 100% blame my sickness on, is going to FinCon. That was in Austin, Texas, which was a blast. That was so much fun. And I'll pause here and give a shout out, because I don't know how long I'm going to be able to go on today. Shout out, number one, to Alex for hopping on here. Much appreciated. And for the shout out on your live stream. I need to thank Ezoic for sponsoring the live streams, and ODYS Global, where you can get aged domains. And I'll run a spot in a few minutes when I need to rest my voice for ODYS, because we have a featured domain for today. as well. So thanks to Alex, a non-technical sponsor, but Ezoic and ODYS. There's links in the description. Okay, so FinCon is basically a conference for financial and personal finance influencers. So it used to be the like personal finance blogging conference, something like that, and then they open it up to anyone who's creating content about personal finance or related to that space in any capacity. A lot of my friends have been to it many times. So I have a podcast called Mile High Fi that I do with my friend Carl Jensen. He blogs at 1500days.com. He's been like 7 or 8 times, something like that, he and his wife. And we recorded, I think, like 4 episodes. Some very big names we're able to interview as well in the Fi space. So that's JD Roth. He blogs over at Get Rich Slowly, which is one of the original personal finance blogs in the Fi space. Started in 2006. So he's like one of the just OGs from way back. I was able to interview him, and A Purple Life, who's sort of a newer blogger. She retired about 1 year ago. She's 30. So got to interview her and meet her in person. And one kind of cool thing is she's anonymous. She's just known as A Purple Life. But we were able to interview her, and I met her in person and stuff like that. Very cool person. And then there's a very big podcast called How to Money. And I was able to meet Matt and Joel, and they are awesome. They actually live just a few miles from where I used to live in Atlanta. And, they're Georgia. They're from Georgia, and they're, basically living in the area that I used to live in for many years. So it's very cool. And they have a huge podcast. That How to Money podcast is on iHeartRadio. And so I was able to hang out. They're super into beer as well. They actually drink beers on their show. I think almost every episode. And they're super cool, very fun. And it was great just partying with people. Thane's on as well. What's up? Thanks for hopping in. And who else did we interview? A guy named Michael Kwan, who wrote a book. I'm not sure when it launched. It could be like in the last few weeks or months here, but I think it's called the Fire Planner. So there's 4 episodes that are going to be coming out, and I think this is the first time that I've mentioned those 4 specific interviews. So keep an eye out over the next 4 to 6 weeks over on the Mile High Fi. The best part with FinCon is, well, I didn't really care that much about the talks. I saw the couple keynotes and went to a couple here and there, but all the people were super cool. I've been to 2 conferences now. So one of them was the Converted Conference in 2017, and I wasn't super impressed there. I went to see Pat Flynn, and I saw him talk, and it was fine. The people were okay, but I didn't connect as deeply as I did over at FinCon. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if it's the specific group of people or, honestly, FinCon was much smaller than it has been. So I heard in 2019, there were roughly 3,000 people at the conference. I heard, and I don't know if this is official, but I heard it was like 700 or 800 in Austin a couple weeks ago, which is much smaller. And I felt like it was a great size because it wasn't overwhelming as far as the number of people. The odd part was the space that they booked potentially could have held 2,000 or 3,000. I'm not really sure, but basically whenever we were in a specific little space or auditorium area, it was huge, and the number of people was very compact and condensed. So I was okay with that. I don't love huge crowds of people or anything like that. And I did technically speak there. So that was really cool to be selected as a speaker and have that sort of recognition, or at least in my head, I felt recognized. And the best part is actually, I didn't speak live, so I wasn't stressed out. I just had to record it ahead of time. That was very easy, right? I can just use my camera. I used the camera right here. I actually used the teleprompter, and I was able to edit it exactly how I wanted, and then they released it at some point in time during the week. So that worked out pretty well. Again, I wasn't stressed out during the week. Even if I was in like a smaller banquet hall, and it was only a couple hundred people, I still would have been frightened, and it would have been a lot more stressful. I was able to go on a couple nice runs by the river. If people have been to Austin, I think it's the Colorado River, flows through the city. And the hotel, the Hilton, was super nice. It was only like a few blocks away, maybe like a third of a mile or something like that. So you could walk into the river. The bats are down there. If people are familiar with Austin, I had some great food, good barbecue. I didn't sleep that well. I didn't necessarily stay up like super late. I've heard some stories from my friends where they were up till 2, 4 in the morning, something like that. And I think the latest I made it in was maybe like midnight, and that was like the latest night. However, I didn't sleep that well, and I think that probably contributed to me getting sick. The other part is, well, it was Texas, and most people weren't wearing a mask. I didn't wear a mask very much, unless I was like inside the conference area, and they were like enforcing it. So whenever you came through a door, they're like, "Hey, put on a mask," and people would put on a mask. But if you like got coffee or something, like you take off your mask and drink the coffee, and generally people weren't wearing masks. And then there were all these sort of parties and happy hours and stuff like that, where people were eating, drinking, and not wearing masks. So, shit happens, I guess. And I didn't get enough rest, even though I took a nap every day. So I actually went down a couple days early. I got there on Monday, and the conference didn't start like until like Wednesday afternoon. So I wanted to, just chill out. Hold on, I lost focus here. I just wanted to hang out, visit with some friends that I have in town, and just kind of be alone, see some of the sights. I spent some time in Austin in the past, so I wanted to just kind of reminisce and check out some of the old spots that I would go to. So got there a little early, tried to nap every day, ended up getting sick like 4 days after I got home. And then eventually, like I said, ran a fever, got the COVID test, tested negative. I'm skeptical, but I am feeling much better now. Okay, so I see a question coming in, and it's very detailed. So I'll hop over and answer that question in a second. I'm going to roll the spot from our fine sponsor, ODYS Global. This is brought to you by ODYS Global, your source for age domains with strong branding. And this particular domain we're going to take a look at today is called ricecatalyst.org. It's kind of interesting because this is in the food area, but it's also a little bit on the EDU and science and kind of organic food area. So when I first saw this domain, I thought like rice cookers and information on cooking, maybe a food blog type situation. But when you look at what this site used to be, it's a former domain of an undergraduate science journal. It's a research journal. So there's a ton of EDU kind of links and some other, big hitters as well, like msn.com, slate.fr. There's definitely some France related sites, but there's Rice EDU, which is a university actually, Georgetown EDU, and a handful of others as well, which we'll actually go take a look over at Ahrefs. And of course, the power behind these age domains is, of course, their age, number one, but also the backlinks. And this particular site has 88 referring domains. 72 of them are do follow. So we can have a quick look at those. And currently, like most of the sites on ODYS or other age domains, there's nothing on the site currently. So it's just sort of a landing page, but you could spawn up the website again and then recreate the old URLs with relevant content so that you can capture that sort of link juice and the link power and then redistribute it through your site. And accordingly, hopefully that link juice would help your new content rank things that you could monetize a little bit more easily. So we're looking at the referring domains that do follow. So we have, as I mentioned, Rice EDU, we have Information Week, Click to Sell Directory, David and Andrew Weeb, Ethiopian News Today, and a couple other EDU sites, several other sort of directories and that sort of thing. But I would say the main value here is the EDU links. And let's take a look at maybe some of the top pages, which I probably should have clicked top pages based on the number of links, but nevertheless, we do get some good information. And I encourage you, if you end up checking out such a age domain like this or any of them over at ODYS, they're vetted very well at ODYS. They don't really bring anything into their marketplace unless it's a high quality domain that has like good branding, number one important thing, but also good backlinks as well. However, you should always do your due diligence, especially if you're looking at expired domains or age domains anywhere else. You should definitely look in a tool like Ahrefs or other resources so that you can take a look at the backlinks and see what those backlinks look like and explore the website in general. You should also have a look over at the Wayback Machine and see what was actually on the site. Sometimes you'll see a site was purchased and used by spammers, so you may detect some like new content on the site years after it was started, and then it sort of tapered off, and then spammers got the site. But you should always check. Now, again, over at ODYS, they usually vet ahead of time because they're investing in these domains, so they don't want to get anything that's garbage. Anyway, thanks to ODYS. If you join using my affiliate link, then you can get $100 into your account, and that'll get you started checking out certain domains like this. Oh, and one other thing, if you want to add this domain onto yours to add those backlinks, that's one option. Or you can start a brand new site on an age domain like this one. Again, this one was called the ricecatalyst.org. So you can check that out over on ODYS, and we'll go back to the show now. And now I'm back. All right. So a couple questions came in. Let's try to answer these questions. All right. So ODYS says, "Hi, sir. My site is 5 months old with 37 KGR posts, and the DA is 1 and 3 or 4 keywords are ranking in the first page, but in the lower positions. Other keywords are on the second or third page. A lot of the search volumes are 10 to 50 or so, and you're not getting many clicks after 2 days. And the daily impressions are 250 to 300. What do you suggest I can do, and where I am standing? By the way, is it necessary to rank all 37 posts in the first position in page 1 to get results?" Okay, so number one, what should you do? You should probably go to those posts that are ranking in the lower positions on the first page and add more content. Add some FAQs, improve it, see if there's more things that you can add to improve those posts. Those are doing okay. Once they move up a little higher, you'll probably start getting a little more traffic. Then you can sort of prioritize and head to some of the other posts that are, hopefully also moving up. You should make sure you internally link your other articles. That's helpful, especially if they're related. Further, you can add more content just in general, especially around the topics that are related to the keywords that are ranking on the first page, because those are doing well. So the final part is, do you need to rank everything in the first position? The answer is no. You don't need to rank everything in the first position. If you could, that'd be amazing, and you'd get a lot more traffic, but it is not necessary to do that. Amin, what's going on? Say, I hope I'm doing well. And you missed the live streams. Thanks. Yeah, we're gonna bring them back coming up soon. All right. Azhar said, what is the best niche for newcomers? And that is, so there's no best niche for newcomers. This is actually kind of it's a question that newcomers ask, because you think, hey, what's the easiest thing for me to do? What I'll direct you towards is my website, nichesiteproject.com. Go to the Amazon affiliate marketing guide, and basically it's / Amazon-affiliate, and then you can go through and see a little bit of information about like getting started. The other thing you can do, since you're on YouTube here, is I did a couple live streams in the last 2 months or so where I talked about choosing a niche. So watch those. If I told you, so here's the issue with that. What's the best niche for newcomers? If there was an answer and I told you, then all the newcomers would go to that same niche, and then everyone would just be competing at that same level. And if it was actually a good niche, then people that were experienced would also go there and just do a better job than the newcomers. So there's no, if anyone says, hey, do this niche, it's the best one for newcomers, they're probably lying to you, or they don't know what they're talking about. So I would, keep that in mind. And a couple guidelines. It's pretty good. I think it's good to have a niche that you're slightly interested in or even passionate about. Now, you don't have to go after your passion or anything like that, but if you're really into technology and like new devices and stuff, then follow that. I'm gonna mute here for a second while I cough. So if you're interested in like batteries, do a site on batteries. And this is what I was afraid of here. So may have to finish this up here. I don't have another clip to play. Or I could just noodle around on the guitar. And I see Brian has a question. I was going to try and answer that. We'll see if I could fight through here. I might not. Keith, thanks. Keith says I sound a little rough. More than a little rough. It's pretty tough. Yeah, and Keith, I'm not sure if you joined, but this cough drop that I have tastes like a cherry, like a urinal mint. It's not good. It's not good. Apparently, it's not that effective right now. The worst part is I actually feel pretty good. I feel okay. It's just this tickle in my throat. All right. Brian says this. I have a site on an expired domain. Azhar says, am I okay? Nah, I'm not. I'm trying not to cough in everyone's ear here. All right. So Brian has an expired domain, 50 pages of content. Google doesn't want to rank it. So okay, where should you look for help? It's a tough one. It might just be that it needs a little more time. It might be that it's a shitty expired domain and maybe it was used for spam sometime in the past. Maybe the niche, the relevancy doesn't line up. I think it's been a while. I'm trying so hard not to cough. I've heard sometimes, especially with expired domains, not age domains, but an expired domain where it's actually like gone dormant for a while. Okay, I'm going to get this answer out. Hopefully Brian's here while I'm struggling through this fucking thing here. All right, so basically I've heard some expired domains, basically they just never worked. They never worked. They were fucked from the beginning for some reason, or Google was just like, I'm not going to recognize this. And people worked on them for like, a year. They tried like drastic things. They tested things and they like never worked. They moved the content to another site. It's fine. It was totally fine. So it's possible that there's some issue there. And sometimes like, this is purely anecdotal. It's not scientific at all. Sometimes it seemed to be random, and other times, like an expired domain was great, and it worked fantastic, and then everything was good. Sometimes it worked great for a while, and then like 6 months later, something would go wrong. Okay. Oh, and it's funny. More people are coming on, but I'm gonna have to get out of here. Okay, Derek, what's up? Good to see you. I'm sick. I'm gonna end this. I'm just coughing too much right now. All right. Amin says, if I were to start a new site and a brand new domain, what percentage of money posts would you aim, considering Google in the last update to deprioritize thin commercial content? I would say the money posts, I would probably do like anywhere from 20 to 50%. So that gives you some leeway, which is, I would say I've been saying 50% for, a long time. And these days I'm, publishing a little bit more informational content. So I think that's what I would recommend. All right. Gaurav is super chat. Thanks. Appreciate that. That is 20, some sort of dinero. So much appreciated. I'm not sure how much that is. And, oh yeah, Brian is here. Bradbury, what's up? All right. Gaurav says, I'm really awesome. Doug, you're really awesome. I rank my content using KGR and recommend it to friends. Can I please suggest some strategies to rank? Can you please suggest some strategies to rank content pieces of new sites for niche portals? Well, number one, I don't know what a niche portal is, but I would say, can you use the KGR? Otherwise, can you tell me what a niche portal is? I don't even know what that is. Pieces of new site for niche portals. Yeah, I don't know. I would say, I don't know. It's keywords or people searching for it. If you're trying to rank stuff, people have to be searching for it. Otherwise, it's not going to rank. Or if it does rank, it doesn't matter. You can rank number one, but if no one's searching for it, who cares? So, okay. Hopefully that was slightly helpful and not too annoying for the people that hung on while I was just coughing on mute. Well, you're troopers. Hopefully, I usually do these once a week. I've just been on a little hiatus, and I think I'm going to move these to Tuesday afternoons. Probably coincide to after Alex finishes. Although I don't know if people are going to be tired because they were having such a good time over on Alex's, or if they're going to be like around and they're like, oh, I want more affiliate marketing talk. I think they're much different. We have much different styles. So, all right, cool. So I think I'm out of here. So I'm going to spare everyone. If you want more, though, what I suggest is check out my podcast. It's called The Doug Show. The audio is pretty good there. I don't cough nearly as much, hardly cough at all. And I have a great episode. Actually, it's coming out tomorrow, where Olga from Ezoic Leap sort of audited my site. So back in April, she audited my site, gave me some tips. I did some of the stuff, and we talk about it. And basically, it's been declining in traffic because I didn't do everything I was supposed to, and she's kind of whipping me into shape here. So check out The Doug Show. There's a ton of episodes, a lot of good shit in the last few weeks. And if you really want to go deep, check out the Mile High 5 podcast. That's my new show, financial independence, personal finance. And it's actually doing like really fucking well. It's doing fantastic. We have some big guests on that show. All right, getting out of here. Everybody have a good day. Wash your hands, cover your mouth when you cough.